Hello friends, welcome to another chapter of Excel training, and in this chapter we'll learn something about grouping data. So when we talk about Excel's grouping features, they are perfect for handling multi-layered information. Basically, grouping helps us to quickly and easily expand and collapse big chunks of data, and in the process it makes the calculating summary information much easier. So basically grouping grouping tricks are remarkably easy to implement, but they rank as one of the Excel's best kept productivity secrets. Okay, so when you want to simplify your worksheets, you first have to learn how to group data. Basically, when we talk about grouping data lets us tie related columns or rows into a single unit. We learn how to do it, and we can collapse the group as per our requirement. So let's start with our today's lecture. Now we'll first learn how to create a group. Okay, now just have a look at the data. This is sale report of a fictitious company. So they have given their quarter one, from quarter one to quarter four sales they have given. They have given the regular sales, and maybe they have given some discount on the purchase to the customer. So maybe sales amount and then some again further discount as the clearance sale. So some categorization it can be, or it can be even three products, like product 1 they have sold this much in quarter 1, product 2 they have sold this much, product 3 they have sold this much. It can be any data. Now when we talk about grouping, now let's assume you are working in this particular company and you go to your boss with this kind of a report. Okay, your boss tells, see, I don't have time to look into so many things. What you have to do, you have to give me a summary kind of a sheet where I can see, okay, first quarter how much is the total sales, second quarter how much is the total sales. If I'm having some more doubts about it, I will again explore the sheet and learn more about it. So when all these things come into picture, your grouping function are very helpful. Now what we'll do first, we'll just group these three columns. Now in order to group columns, first you have to select the first column and then the adjacent columns. So these three columns we have selected. Then go to data, go to group. Okay, now what we have done, basically we have grouped this data. So here column B, C and D are grouped. Now what has happened over here, this kind of a line has come over here on top of your column headings. Okay, and there is some minus kind of a sign. So now let's see, we'll just click on this minus sign and let's see what happens. As soon as we click on this, all the columns will collapse. Okay, so basically after clicking the minus icon in the worksheet upper margin, we can quickly collapse this group, thereby hiding column B, C and D. Even though we have hidden the columns are still being used in this formula, which is sum of B3 to D3. Okay, now you showed this report to your boss and he says, okay, wonderful, but why the sales in second quarter is not that good? What you can do, then you can just click on this plus button so that he can have a look at the sales. So this is the way Excel's grouping function works. You can collapse a big worksheet to a small one, and suddenly you will find these two icons over here, 1, 2. If you click on 1, this is the same thing. If you click on 2, it will ungroup the data. So now we have learned how to group and ungroup. So we also have these things again, like we have already explained. These are basically to expand and collapse all the columns in the group. Now, like over here, what we have done, we have grouped these 3 columns. Now suppose if your boss says, okay, I don't want quarter-wise sales, I just want to see the total sales in regular category, in sale category, and in clearance category. So that means you have to now group the data as per the rows. So for that, select the rows, go to data, go to group and click on group. So now you have grouped the data as per the rows. So this is the way you can group your data. Now total sales is this much, quarter wise sales is this much, and column heading like these, regular, sale, clearance, it's this. So this is the way you can create a simple group. But one thing you have to keep in mind, if you create adjacent group of columns, you always need to leave at least one column between each group. Like suppose A, B, C, D, like in this case we made a group of B, C and D. Now let's assume I want another group, E, F and G. I'll select the data, group. But instead of making a separate group, what Excel has done, it has clubbed, or it has grouped from column B to column G. This is what we don't require. We require BCD as one group and EFG as separate group. So that means whenever we have to create adjacent groups, we always need to leave at least one column between each group. If we create 2 groups next to each other, like what we shown over here, Excel automatically merges them into a single group. See, this thing exists because Excel needs a free column to display this icon. Okay, the expand and collapse icon. So just again undo it. If I want a few more groups over here, I can go to group, group. Now just imagine you have maybe, see, now I have 2 groups in the upper margin. Now let's imagine, I'll just insert one sheet and just try to show you something. Suppose you have Jan, just drag it, copy, paste special, transpose. Now suppose we have this data, okay, and maybe over here we'll put first half, then over here second half, total, delete, maybe sales equal to, and between anything I can put 12, 450, control enter. See, the data is changing because we have used the ran between function. So do not worry about it. So as soon as you, one sec. So as soon as you just copy these values and then paste special it as values, So then this will stop, it will be just the value. Now I was giving you example how to use the grouping function. Now suppose if you have the sales for a particular maybe a year and you want to group them. So what you can do, select the first half, group, select the second half, group. So now a very nice way you can show to your boss, like sales for the first half is this much, sales for the second half is this much, and total sales is this much. But now if he says, okay, why first half sales is less, then you can click on this, then you can see this nicely kept data over here. So this is the way how grouping can add value to your worksheets and make your work much simpler, and it will help you perform calculations or working with Excel in a much easier way, okay, because you can control the amount of data which you want to see. So this was regarding creating a basic group. Okay, now we'll learn something about the nested groups. See, grouping basically helps us temporarily shrink the size of a large table by removing specific rows or columns. So grouping becomes even more useful. First, let me just remove these groupings. Yeah, grouping becomes much more useful if we have multiple tables of information on a particular worksheet. Like we have, like in this case, there was a total sale report of maybe the entire country. In this case, what we have done, we have taken these figures for West Division, East Division, North Division and South Division. So, and report which we'll give to the management will be in two phases, like, or two different kind of reports which are there, which will be given to the management. First is total sales, and total visible means we have used subtotal function in this. So sales which is visible, which we have not grouped or hidden. What we'll do, first we'll create groups like this. Group, press F4, select the data, press F4. So this is the way you can quickly do groupings. Suppose if you have to do groups, you can select the data and press F4. F4 is a function which will repeat the task. Then we'll just press on 1. Now we can see division wise sales. Like West Division is sold this much, this much, this much. Okay. Now let's assume your boss suddenly says, okay, you are showing me West Division, East Division, North Division and South Division sales, okay, which is this. Now give me such a way to handle the Excel data that I can play around. Suppose if I want to see only North Division sales, I should be able to see only North Division and total of only North Division. Okay, if I want to see East Division and South Division sales, I should be able to see the total of only East Division and South Division. So what we'll do, we'll go for the nested group. So that means, like there is this group, so we'll also create a group like this, like selecting 1, 2 and 7. So group, yeah, okay. Now as soon as I click it, just have a look at over here, as soon as I click it, the regular sale, it has come down because we have excluded West Division from the total sales. So basically the funda is the subtotal function. Like we have used 109 as the function, so basically equal to subtotal. When we talk about 109, so this is a sum. Like if you see, Basically it returns a subtotal in a list or database, but as soon as we hide the data, it will not count it in the total sum. So this is creating the nested group. So like again we can create a nested group like this. So as soon as I will hide it, the sale of eastern region will get reduced. So same thing I can do for north as well. F4. Okay, so this is the way I can just see the sale of southern division. If I want to see sale of north, east, west. So this is what we call as nesting the groups. You can again get to this value if you make all your cells or all your main, like this is one division, visible. Okay, so you can also use subtotal function along with the grouping. I think you have now learned few things about grouping. At least you now know how to create a group, how to create a group for columns, how to create a group for rows, how to create a group within a group, so and how to use subtotal function. Subtotal function, like which we mentioned over here, there's nothing but 109 is the, suppose if instead of this 109 you are using maybe 1 or sorry 9, if you're using 9 as the value, so even if you hide this thing, you won't see any change in this value, the total. So if you use 109, you will see the change in the total. So that means 109 takes the sum of only those cells which are visible. So this was just few things about groups. Now let's learn about one more aspect in grouping. This is called as data consolidation. Okay, I don't know how useful it is because I haven't used this function in my working life. I have used Excel for so many years, but I haven't used this function in my working life. But for those people who require it, I'll just tell them how to use it. For this, for data consolidation, what you can do, you can click on consolidate, you can select any function. So let me, to make it much easy, like I'll take sum. Okay, I'll just delete these things, delete. Now I click over here, I browse this data, so that means I select this data, again click over here, I'll add this data, again I'll go to this range, select this range, then add. So what consolidate function does, it basically consolidates the data. Like you have sales for two regions, like western region and the eastern region. Okay, by using this sum function, it will consolidate or it will add up the sales, okay, without using any formula. So equal to, so let me just use the group function so that I can see the data clearly. Yeah, this is my data. I'll just go to home, I'll go to format, auto fit column width. Okay, now if I just select this and press Control key and select this, total is 58500. So again the same total has come. So what it has done, it has basically consolidated the table. This data range and this data range, it has consolidated. But the only disadvantage of data consolidation, I would say, is like there are no formulas in this cells. Like see, there is not even a single formula. Suppose if instead of this 34 it becomes maybe 67, this data won't change. So that I feel is a biggest disadvantage of data consolidation. It's better to do these things by means of simple formula, because even if there is some simple change in the data or something like that, at least the final table, it can get updated automatically. Okay, so this was regarding data consolidation and grouping. Hope you have enjoyed this lecture. Now just going further, we'll also be learning about automatic subtotaling along with in this lecture only. So for that, I'll just open the automatic subtotaling worksheet. So this is the automatic subtotaling worksheet. So basically, the subtotal tool, it helps us to create groups and subtotals all in one click. Like in this case, what we did, we first created the groups and then we created the subtotal. While in this case, we learn about how to create a group and how to create automatic subtotals. Okay, to use automatic subtotaling, we need to have a long table of repetitive data. Okay, but the problem is we cannot use more than one table. So the goal of automatic subtotaling is to get Excel to break our table into summarized suitable subtotals for us so that we can use it. Okay, now suppose this is the data, this is the same old data which we are using in lots and lots of examples, so I won't go into it what this data is all about. Now suppose I want to know, maybe one sec, maximum salary which has been given in the branch wise. I want to know maximum salary given branch wise, like in civil branch, how much is the maximum salary being offered. So same thing for electronics, for mechanical. So what I'll do, I'll just use this data, otherwise this data will get spoiled. I'll just copy the data to the end over here. Now I'll just click anywhere in this table. I'll go to data and I'll click on subtotal. Okay, so I want the maximum CTC offered branch wise. So at each change in branch, I'm asking Excel to use function. Which function? Max function, maximum what we say, salary offered. Okay, then add subtotal to. I click on CTC and then I press OK. So Excel has already made the groups as well as the subtotals. So it's a very quick and simple way to use grouping as well as subtotaling, providing your data helps you do these things. Now, if we want to know the maximum sales, or also not sales, I'm too much into sales. Now we want to know the maximum salary being offered, be it any branch. So it is 8 lakh, okay, or 800,000. If I want to know it branch wise, I just click on 2. So for civil, maximum is 800,000. For computers, it's 567,767,876. For electrical, it is 450,000. Electronics and Mac, again same 800,000. If I want to know it even further, I want to dig it deeper. So this student has got 8 lakhs. This is 3.5. This is 4.15. This is 3.5. So this is the way Excel has, what we say, nicely formatted the data, and so that it has also grouped the data as per our requirement. Now in the same way, what you can do, you can also do it, maybe if you want to know average CTC by each department. So again, you can sort this data. Maybe I'll just again show you how. Move copy. Why I'm not using the old data, why I'm not doing it over here, because this will spoil the complete data. So that is why I'm asking Excel to first sort the data A to Z department wise, then subtotal, and each change in department show me the average CTC. Okay, now average CTC is 416832. So which department is giving maximum CTC? It is construction, and after that it is sales. Okay, and if I want to know it student wise, so now I got it student wise. So this is the way you can control big worksheets and use automatic subtotaling and grouping functions. You can explore it on your own with the data which you are using in your day-to-day life, and if you are having any doubts or queries regarding the grouping or subtotal function, you can always write back to us at neve.training@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you any doubts, and we'll be more than happy to help you out with your doubts and your questions, and we're always open for the suggestions. Thanks a lot for your support. Take care. Bye bye.